a bookish gift guide. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Lynn and I'm from the channel lynloves, and I talk about all the things I love, and I have a book gift guide today for you, so let's just dive right in. So the first category we're gonna talk about are classics. These are 3 short recommendations to ask for Christmas. I really love classics and these are easy to read, all 3 of them, and they're short, so they're great for beginners. The first one I have is We Have Always Lived in a Castle, and this is in the beautiful Penguin Classics edition, the orange classics. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. And this is a gothic tale written by Shirley Jackson, and I really liked it. It's short, only about 170 pages, so it's great for everyone. It's a quick read, and it's about 2 sisters that live together right outside the village, and the village don't really like them, and they're really hateful towards them. And it's about poisoning, it's gothic, it's horror, it's very unsettling, it's very isolated, it's about plants, it's about poisoning the family and nobody knows who done it. So I really recommend this if you're into horror gothic tales, and it's a quick, short, easy read, and I mean this edition is gorgeous, so I highly recommend. The next classic I would recommend for your gift list is Carmilla, and it's a story about vampires. It predates Dracula with 26 years, so it's one of the originals. And it's about this girl Laura, and she encounters Carmilla, and Carmilla comes to stay with them for a couple of months because of certain situations, and it follows them and it follows certain deaths. It's one of the classic vampire stories, and it's queer, it's sapphic, it's really haunting, but it's really readable for everyone. So if you're a beginner, I would highly recommend this. And it's mysterious. Laura begins to get weird symptoms of a strange disease, and it's mysterious, it's unsettling, it's eerie, and yes, it's just so good. I would highly recommend if you're into horror tales, and it's very readable. So that's the second book I recommend. Third short classic I would recommend for your Christmas list is The Black Tulip. It's written by Alexandre Dumas, the writer of The Count of Monte Cristo and The Three Musketeers. And it's very durable compared with The Count of Monte Cristo, so this is a great start if you would like to read that at one point. And it's about Cornelius, a respectable tulip grower, and he's just so passionate about growing tulips. And when there is a prize announced for the one person who cultivates the black tulip, he starts to become really passionate about growing the black tulip. And so then his neighbor, he gets really obsessed with winning the prize, and it's about jealousy, it's about hatred, it's about getting obsessed with your neighbor to see how he cultivates the black tulip and then sabotaging him so you can get your own black tulip and win the prize. And when Cornelius gets falsely accused, he's imprisoned, and there he meets Rosa, the daughter of the jailer, and together they try to cultivate the black tulip. It's just so beautifully written and it's very comprehensible. It's really good literature, and it's historical fiction about the Netherlands. So that's really cool to read, and it's a great place to start if you like to read some of Alexandre Dumas. So that's the third book I would recommend. Next book is perfect for winter lovers. This is The Ice Palace. It's a translated work. It's from a Norwegian writer. I read this recently and it was just so beautiful. It's about two girls and their friendship. And one day one girl goes missing and it just follows the other girl, and it has beautifully written descriptions about the season winter, about the ice, about how snow is formed, how the ice palace is formed, and it also has beautifully written poems in it, and it's just great, and it's really short. It's a modern classic. This is the Modern Classics by Penguin, and I mean, look at the cover. That's gorgeous, and it's great to read if you want to read more works in translation. So that's the fourth book on this list. The fifth book on this list is Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. And this is also a work in translation. It's from Poland and I have yet to read it. But I saw Emma of the YouTube channel Emmie recommend it, so of course I had to pick this up. And it's about an old woman, or a woman in her 60s from a Polish village, and she lives there kind of isolated, and it follows her and some people in the village start to go missing, and also her two dogs go missing, and it follows the story of the mystery about what is going on. And one thing I do know is there are some deer involved, so I'm really excited to see where that will go, and I think this will make a great book for anyone who's into thrillers or crime mysteries, and also it's not a really long read, so that's perfect. So I recommend this modern classic if you're into mysteries and crime stories. The last three books on this list are all about the fantasy genre, and I mean, look at how big these are. Okay, let's just start right away. The first one is A Starless Sea. I read this during the summer, and it's a book that's perfect for book lovers, for people that love fantasy and love books about books. It follows a boy, Zachary. He goes downstairs, below, as what they call it, and there he finds kind of a library. I mean, is it? Yes. He finds a library that's full with books, but there are also mysteries involved, and he tries to solve them. And it's about lost cities, about lost seas. It's about saving the place for the better. And if you're into fantasy and into books, about books, I would highly recommend this. This is kind of a big book, but big books are here to stay, so I would highly recommend. The next book I would recommend is the second book in a series, and this is A Dragonfly in Amber, and it's the Outlander series. And I read this also during the summer, or I recently finished this, and it's just so good. If you're into fantasy, magic, big books, I mean, that's huge. And it's about Scotland, and it follows a woman named Claire, and she somehow travels through the stones 200 years back. It then follows her in the 1700s. And what I really love about this story, or just the Outland series, is the beautiful descriptions about magic, about Scotland, about the Scottish Highlands, and I really liked how much I learned about Scotland, about its history, and I think it's just great. I really adore this. Beautifully written. You just have to pick this up if you're into fantasy and if you like reading about new places, if you like magic. Also has quite a lot to do with the Scottish wars, the Jacobite risings. I learned quite a lot about that, so that's very interesting, and it has beautiful descriptions of the Scottish Highlands, nature, plants, but also it's very interesting because in this book they also go to France, and it's so interesting to see how the court went there, so it was amazing. So the last book I'm going to recommend for this book gift guide is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I'm currently reading this, I'm halfway through, and it's amazing. It's a fantasy book and I really like the magic in it. It's settled in London and it follows Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And it starts out when there's not really magic going on. The magic is kind of faded into the past, and then Mr. Norrell comes back and he kind of revives English magic, and Jonathan Strange becomes his pupil, and it follows him and Mr. Norrell, and England is going in war with France. So Jonathan Strange gets sent to Spain for war, and it follows the story there, and it's just so good. I would say it's kind of slow paced, but it's great if you like historical fiction. It's great if you're into fantasy books, into books about magic, if you like London society, and if you like big books. I mean, that's quite a chunk. So I would highly recommend if you're into all of those things. It's just so cool and it's fun to read about. And that's my last book for this book gift guide. So that was my book gift guide. I mean, these are quite a lot of books. I hope you liked watching it, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I see you in the next video. Bye! Love, Lynn!